If you're considering a set of loud horns for your truck and not sure if you should, well, you've came to the right place. I've been running a set of spare tire deletes on my Ford F150 for a little over a year, and I'm about to take them off to repowder coat them. I'm gonna go through the install process on my truck, show you why I chose HornBlasters, and if I'd do it again. All right, so I just pulled this off my truck, and I want you to see what I'm looking at. So my issue is rust, if you can see that.
No kidding.
No kidding.
So I live in the state of Indiana, which we have all kinds of snow in the wintertime and salt and everything else.
Shucks.
With that being said, as the compressor held up well, the horns held up well, my biggest issue is the bracket. So my plan here is I'm gonna remove the bracket, take it, have it repowder coated, as well as the tank, just so they kind of match. But as you can see, all the components held up super well. And honestly, gang, I've been impressed with how well this thing's operated. I originally bought it without a remote, and I ended up buying and adding the remote on it later, and found out that it was a lot of fun. I would even recommend, if you're gonna buy one, buy the remote. But let's go ahead and get started with taking this bad boy apart so I can take it down to my powder coat guy. And my goal is to make this thing white and black. I think it'll just stand out better, more visible underneath my truck. So I have to tell you, this thing was first installed by somebody else. It arrived right before I headed out of town, and my thought process is when I got back from vacation, I wanted to hear it. I basically dropped it off one of my local shops around who specializes in HornBlasters and had them hook it up. So this is really my first time taking it apart and installing it myself. When it arrives, I will admit, it's a little bit intimidating because there's tons of parts to it. However, once you go through it step by step, it's really not that bad, which you'll see when I install it. I reached out to HornBlasters about the rust, and they sent me a new bracket. These guys are very kind and great to work with. My goal here was really basically to remove the tank, and then I take the tank and the new bracket to my powder coat guy, and then basically just transfer everything over. Here it is. I decided to go with white because I thought it would help stand out a little bit better underneath my truck. I wanted to show you the side-by-side of all black versus white next to it. After transferring everything from one to the next, I went and started with the install process. Simply lowering the mount for your spare tire and then connecting it to your bracket like I am here. Once you have the mount slipped in the hole at the bottom of the bracket, it's simply just a matter of raising it up. It's not a bad idea to lay this on a towel or some type of a blanket because it can scratch up your horns underneath in the driveway like what I'm doing here. My horns ended up being okay. Well, first off, if you don't live in Indiana, you gotta love it. It started pouring down on me as I finished this project. So I cranked it up real fast, and here's where we're at now that it stopped raining. Notice the black hose hanging around. So I didn't want to mount the air hose connector in the same location. I want to get a little bit closer to my bumper in case I did need to use it. So I'll show you and how I mounted that next. All right, now that the rain's done, we're gonna reconnect everything up. So you see 3 wires here. Basically, this comes from the switch which I installed on my dash that goes to the battery as well. So we're basically gonna take the wires that came off the compressor, connect those 2 up, and then after we're done with this, we'll work on the air compressor line like I was showing you before. The ground is simple. We'll just mount it to this spot in the frame right here. The next thing I need to do is mount the hose connector, and unfortunately my drill would not go through it. So I picked up this set of bad boy tools. I want to check these out. I've heard good things about them. I want to see how well they drill into the metal. And just like that, got it in. All right, so I connected everything and ran out for a little bit, ran the truck for a little bit, just make sure I got aired up. Let's see if it works. It definitely works. All right, so I wanted to show you again what it looked like before I repowder coated it and what it looks like compared to now. Keep in mind, that's where I had the air compressor connector at before, which you'd have to climb all the way under my truck to access. All right guys, so if I want to access the air compressor, It's just simply right here. That's why I did that. And again, this is what it looks like black and white. I think it looks way better. All right, more on the air compressor setup. I ordered this kit from Hornblasters as well, and I thought it was really cool. It has all the pieces in it. You know, has the plumbing tape in case you have a leak or whatever, but also has pretty much anything you need to air up a tire, a basketball, soccer ball, you name it. Here's even a blower. You can connect to it. And even one of the hoses, which let me grab it, even has a gauge on it, which helps you air tires. So you have a friend's tire needs aired up or something. Really cool add-on for your Hornblaster. All right, let's take it out for a ride so you guys can hear the horn. I want you to hear what it sounds like inside the cab and outside the cab. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Here we go, windows up, and here goes the Hornblaster. There we go. So it's pretty quiet inside. I'll tell you outside, it's not quiet at all. Guys, let's walk this off. I'm gonna honk the horn, and then I'll drive further away, honk the horn again, and we'll just show the test. So let me see how far this is. So let's see. All right, guys, so I just walked that off. That's about 15 yards. I'm gonna honk the horn. I'm gonna drive it probably another 15 yards. I'll honk it again, and I'll come back around, all right?
Oh. What? Wally! What? Wally! What? Jesus! I heard something!
All right, y'all, so the first question, one of the first questions is will I buy Hornblasters again? Well, here in the great state of Indiana, all it does is snow and you know, kick salt up everywhere, which causes this thing to rust, which is the one problem I had with the Hornblaster. With that being said, is this thing is loud and I love it. The remote option, the keychain remote, I highly recommend. Yes, I would. Now, would I buy another spare tire delete? I think that depends on the truck. You know, this F150, I got 37-inch by 1450 tires on it. I'm not going to fill a spare underneath this truck anyway, so might as well use that space with something else. Now, on my Silverado, if you follow my channel for a while, you know I got a 2500 Silverado. I might find a different horn. If you go to hornblasters.com, they have tons of options, and I don't want you to think you just have to do a spare tire delete. Even on F150, there's other options out there. With that being said, there are a couple additions that I would recommend. So one is, you know, like I mentioned, I would recommend the remote. I would also recommend the air compressor option for it, and I would tell you as a tip is get extra hose, because you may want it in a different spot like I did, and you know, it's easy to cut it off, but it's hard to add it later because you have to start from scratch basically. With that being said, this thing's a great horn, and I couldn't recommend more. If I buy another horn, it's gonna be for Hornblasters. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just simply just sharing this video with you, hoping to help. In fact, if this does help you, hit the like button. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, drop them down below. I'll respond to you as fast as I can. On top of that, you want to hit me up on social media. I'm at F150_boss on Instagram and TikTok. Would love to hear from you. But guys, I'm going to drop down links for anything I talked about in this video, hoping this was helpful to you. If you like what you see here, I got I probably got 10 different projects coming up on my F-150 that I'm going to do, and at least half a dozen on the Silverado. I will drop a question down below. These things here have faded on me, okay? I've got a set of, even here, all pieces in my garage. And what I'm debating on is one of two things. Should I paint it to match this, or should I just install it the way it is? On a video coming up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these and show you guys how to install new ones. And I've actually done the same thing for the Silverado. I'll share the story behind that one later. But anyway, guys, I do want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. I want you all to have a great day.